What ho chaps, how's it going? It's time for yet another thrilling episode of the Shite You See on the BBC. First of all, this is the homepage today. Like I told you guys before, I don't doctor anything. This is what happens when you type in bbc.com. You get fucking this. Like, there's a global pandemic. There's fucking misery and suffering and death in Yemen and Syria. Iraq's still fucked. Afghanistan's still a fucking shithole. You've got massacres and all sorts of shit going on in Africa. And this is what we're reading about. Like, that takes up, what, a fucking quarter of the homepage. All that shit's going on and we want to read about the thrilling world of transgenderism. Like they don't talk about that enough. Don't talk about that enough. There's death and misery and chaos everywhere. Well, I'll tell you what we need to talk about. Blokes getting the cock lopped off. That is the type of thrilling stuff that the British taxpayers pay us for. They don't want to know about death. That's depressing. They want to know uplifting stories about blokes getting the cocks lopped off and then revelling in their newfound femininity. That's what I want to read about. Fuck the pandemic. I don't care about the vaccine trials. Tell me about your cock, mate. Fuck it, let's start with that, shall we? Ultra-orthodox and trans. I pray to God to make me a girl. Not bad, as far as they go, right? Bit of a trap. Although she has got a lippy on. You can see the semblance of a manly chin there. Not like Desperate Dan or anything, but you know. Says when Abby Stein came out as trans, she sent shockwaves through the ultra-orthodox Hasidic community. I fucking bet. Only shockwaves though, right? Nobody had to die. We all know. Despite the fact that there's an activist group called LGBT it's Queers for Palestine. Queers for Palestine. Even though everybody knows there's only one place in that region where you can get away with being openly queer. And it isn't fucking Palestine, is it? Abby Stein merely sent some shockwaves through the ultra-orthodox Hasidic community. I think we all know what would have happened if she was in a different community. Another community that follows the same God but in a slightly different way, right? I think we all know what would have happened then. Anyway, my dad is a rabbi and having a son was a big deal. He would always tell me that after 5 girls he'd given up having a boy. Fucking hell, I feel sorry for that poor bastard. He was like, yes, finally, we got some cock in the family. Uh-oh. What do you mean you want to wear a dress? You selfish little twat. Said every night, age 9, she used to pray, Holy Creator, I'm begging you, when I wake up in the morning, I want to be a girl. Well, we can stop there, you know what it is. It's just a lengthy tribute to the trans community. Typical BBC fare that you lads pay for. So thank you lucky stars. You know you're getting value for money every time you fire up the state broadcasting website. You know you can read this stuff. There's no need for me to go through it. You know what it is. It's just endless fawning thanks and prayers for the wonderful trans community that enriches our lives so much. I would like to see a little bit more criticism of the way the trans community are treated in certain other religions compared with the Jewish one. The French police seized 140,000 masks because France is an absolute shithole and the only way they can keep it going is with fucking authoritarianism. Like, it says here, look, they seized 140,000 face masks destined for sale on the black market. The black market, what they're saying there is supply and demand as usual. The hard-working French people are going to make this problem go away. There isn't enough masks or PPE, so the fucking people are making it happen. And if you read down a bit, it says the suspects included a 60-year-old man, reportedly the seller, who had bought the masks for 50 cents each in the Netherlands, and he was selling them for between 55 and 60 cents. That seems, for all the admin he's gone through, almost like he's doing his civic duty there. He's making 5 or 10 cents on a mask. He's not price gouging people and selling them for $10 a pop, is he? Like, that's fucking shocking, really. The clients included company bosses, So basically, the government's fucking useless. They haven't got enough PPE, and when normal citizenry are trying to fix the problem, they're clamping down on it. Well, just because it's legal theft, isn't it? The French government will just pinch all them and just appropriate them, sell them to whoever they want instead. I mean, that's transparently obvious. Fucking shocking that. Well, especially when you read the price. He wasn't gouging people there. He was adding 10 cents to a mask. Fucking shocking. I'll tell you what, the whole crisis was a gift for France. Because France had been on fire every weekend for a year. The fucking protesters were going mental, and this just allows them to seize more fucking power, do what they want, rob people's masks off them, and give them out to people they choose, or sell the cunts. They're probably selling them to the fucking Italians now. Fucking shocking. Look at this one. The billionaire trying to stop coronavirus and fix China's reputation. Well, we've got you to do that for us, haven't we, BBC? Like the Chinese, they caused this whole fucking crisis. Everybody knows it. And now they've just been on a propaganda campaign for the last 4 weeks to try and convince the West that actually they're the ones who were going to fix the problem and the West are fucking it all up. And the best thing is the BBC and the lefties in UK and in the US are lapping it up. They hate their own culture and country so much. They're lapping it up. They're siding with an authoritarian, genocidal fucking regime over their own people. Because they can't get enough of it. And the propagandists that work for the Chinese are excellent at propaganda. They're brilliant at it. They know exactly what to say to our self-loathing, cringing lefty chums to make them praise the Chinese and endlessly slag off our own guys. They talk shit about Boris. They talk shit about Trump. They pray for the death of these people. And then they praise authoritarian, murderous, genocidal regimes. As long as they're not pasty European, authoritarian, genocidal regimes. Like I said, that's why no one talks about the Japanese with the fucking rape camps or setting fire to Nanking and killing 100,000 kids. They're just going about the Germans all the time because they're the right fucking colour. It says the richest man in China opened his own Twitter account last month in the middle of the COVID-19 outbreak. I bet he fucking did. So far, one of his posts has been devoted to his unrivaled campaign to deliver medical supplies to almost every country around the world. See, the BBC is lapping it up. They are spooning the fucking warm diarrhea down as fast as they can get it. Unbelievable. One world, one fight, Jack Ma enthused. Together we can do this. He cheered in another. Just unparalleled, unending praise for fucking China and the Chinese. Jack Ma, the charismatic English teacher, went on to create China's biggest... Charismatic to you. So far, over 150 countries have received donations. 120 million face masks. Testing kits that don't fucking work. Ventilators that'll kill you. Disgraceful. Oh, what's this? Look, hidden right down the bottom. Technically, Ma isn't a communist outsider. China's wealthiest capitalist has actually been a member of the Communist Party since the 1980s. Oh, no fucking shit. So there you go, BBC. Again, state-funded, UK, paid for by British taxpayers. It's a love letter to China and the Chinese Communist Party member. Unbelievable. I listened to an interview with Neil Ferguson talking about this, saying how, like, we really need to take steps to make sure that the Chinese who perpetuated this crisis and fucked every economy in the Western world don't now take over the narrative and start spreading the idea that they're the heroes who are going to save the world and we're the fucking villains. And the BBC is fucking perpetuating it. Disgraceful. Fucking disgraceful. Look, more talk about refugees. Just look at that. Rohingya Crisis. You knew it wasn't going to be Uighur Crisis, did you? Uighur, the ones that the Chinese have been murdering and selling their organs. No, it's the Rohingya Crisis. Because they're them Rohingya Muslims everyone's mean to. Don't want to talk about the ones the Chinese are being mean to. And even the headline on the video, look, these Rohingya refugees, including unaccompanied children. I want to talk about the Muslims in China. Let's roll it back and talk about them instead, shall we, BBC? They've already bought the Who. Do they own the fucking BBC now? How the fuck we pay for the BBC? How is it beholden to the fucking Chinese Communist Party? If I buy the cunt At least want to be in charge of what we're putting on there. I don't understand it. I don't understand how it's funded by UK taxpayers and it's just a fawning fucking love letter to anyone who despises us. Hundreds more are stuck at sea. Don't care. Don't care. Got more important things to worry about. Hundreds are stuck at sea. 200,000 are in death camps in China. Let's talk about them instead, shall we? Coronavirus, has Sweden got its science right? Well, we know how I feel about that. I fucking talked about it plenty. I won't go on. I'll just say, Sweden are doing a better job than we are, and the facts are going to prove that fucking right. The BBC will talk shit about them, because they've got their own fucking agenda. But it's not a conspiracy theory. You've got a lot of fucking idiots. My mentions on Facebook, Twitter, Quora, they just want to argue with me, call me a cunt, act like children and go, oh yeah, Matt, why do you want people to die? Why do you want thousands of people to die? Didn't say that. Bit weird that you'd even think that was a counter-argument. But it's not a fucking conspiracy theory. At all. You've got the US and the UK and the French taking one fucking tactic, and you've got countries like Japan, Sweden, the Netherlands and other places doing another. I side with them. It's not a fucking conspiracy theory. But it's this guy, Anders Tegnell. He's the chief state epidemiologist. Again, it's not fucking Alex Jones telling us what to do from his fucking cellar. He's the chief state epidemiologist. Interestingly, there's a response from a guy who Anders Tegnell talks shit about, and Unheard asked him for a response, and he's the guy leading the British efforts, and he's a fucking idiot. They confront him with the figures and say, this looks like you've got everything wrong. And he goes, oh, no. Basically, it's exactly as we predicted. It's not. You're just talking fucking nonsense. It's just wind. Everything he says is wrong. But he goes, no, actually, everything I say is right. So we'll see. Their own conclusion, history will judge which country's got it right. Well, we'll fucking see. I'm with the Swedes. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's an alternative opinion. But for some bizarre reason, the lefties in the UK and in the US have turned it into a partisan thing. They think if you're a lefty, you have to agree entirely with the mainstream media and the fucking government agencies in the UK and the US. And if you disagree with them and side with some of the smaller countries, well then you're a fucking right-wing Trumpian prepper who lives in a log cabin and fucking only eat when you stab a sheep in the fucking head. This was fucking quality. It says, should women be eligible for US military draft? The numbers in this story made me fucking howl laughing. I'll just go through it quickly. It says, US women may soon achieve a level of equality not everyone wants, ending a 40-year all-male precedent by becoming eligible to be conscripted in a time of war. One of the starkest ways American women have achieved equality with men has occurred in the military. But the decision by then Defence Secretary Ashton Carter to open all positions to the armed forces to women, including combat duty, was largely applauded as a necessary step that benefited the military and society. More than 224,000 women are serving in the US military, constituting about 17% of the armed forces' active duty members. It says more than 2,900 of those women have served in army combat positions since 2016. The National Commission spent 2 years conducting dozens of hearings across the country. In its final report, it recommended that Congress amend the Military Selective Service Act to eliminate male-only registration and expand draft eligibility to all individuals of the applicable age cohort. And this is the funny part. Among the general public, the majority of men and women support women serving in combat roles. But opinion about women being drafted is sharply divided along gender lines. It says in a 2016 Rasmussen Reports poll, 61% of men favoured extending the draft registration to both sexes, while only 38% of women supported doing so. 38%. So nowhere near even half of them. So they love it, don't they? They love whinging about like, oh, there's not enough women in the fire service. Elite jobs. Jobs that are viewed favourably, right? The fire service is a good example because that's a fucking good job. When you leave the military, most guys apply. I did. It's a fucking good job. It's great. It keeps you in the uniform. You get to stay fit while you do it. People don't look down on you. It's not like being a fucking traffic warden. Fucking hell, most people would rather be a registered sex offender than a fucking traffic warden. It's not like working in McDonald's where you feel like people are going to look at you and go, oh, he's obviously didn't go to school. Fire department is a good one. You don't need a college degree to do it. You feel like you've got purpose in your life. It's a great job, which is why for every fucking position that opens up, you get 10,000 people go for it. It's a fucking great job. So they want that. They go, oh, 51% of the fire department should be fucking women. Even though some 4'9" scrawny fucking bird would not be able to carry my fat old father down a fucking ladder if the building was on fire. Most of them are going to be there, dead fucking wood, carried by their physical betters. Again, I'm all for them going in. I'm all for equality for women. But they should just keep the standards the same. If a woman wants to be a Navy SEAL, she can be a fucking Navy SEAL, but she has to do the same physical stuff. And in fact, don't you think that would be more preferable to the women that are hard as fuck? Like, there are some women out there who are fit as fuck. I've seen some really tough, physically fit women. They don't want the standards to be lowered because they'll be pissed off. The men look at them in an arrogant way because they know that the standards have all been lowered. So guys are looking at them and going, she didn't do it the right way. She did it the easy way. No, tough, strong women want the standards high because then they earn their fucking place and they know people respect them and go, yeah, she's a tough gal. They don't want the standards dropping. It's the useless bitches who want the standards dropping so they can get in and not do any fucking work. Deadwood. And there's a lot of them currently in jobs like in the police and the fire department who are fucking useless. Physically pathetic. And if it kicks off, like if you're a copper dealing with a riot or a firefighter having to drag people down stairwells while wearing fucking oxygen tanks. And if you're fucking useless physically, you can't do it. But they're all still getting the jobs. We know this. The data has proven it. So they want equality, they want all the good jobs, they want to be cops and firefighters. They never talk about gender equality in garbage men. They don't say, we demand the right to go down the sewers and pick shit up for a living. They don't want equality there. But they want equality in the fucking fire department. But all of a sudden, you're talking about the draft? Nah, we'll take a hard pass on that, thanks very much. 62% of women say, fuck off, we shouldn't have to do the draft. We'll do good jobs. We want parity in CEOs. We don't want parity in a war. Fuck off. We're more than happy in the kitchen, phallocrats. What a bunch of arseholes. Some believe registering women on the same basis as men would recognise they have equal rights and responsibilities. But most don't. Ironically, again, the attached video here, watch it yourselves, I don't want to go through it. But there's two women on there who went to ranger school and they look tough as fuck. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. They don't want the standards lowering. All the useless bitches do. Well, I suggest I'm an egalitarian and I also like living in a fucking merit-based society. So don't change the standards. If anything, make them fucking harder. Earn your place. Then it actually feels like it's worth something. 62% of women don't support that equality. Scandalous. And we'll do one more. Worldwide death toll climbs to 200,000. Right, well, we know the problem with this straight away, don't we? You know what I'm going to say. It says more than 200,000 people have now died with the coronavirus. Figures from Johns Hopkins University show. There are more than 2.8 million confirmed cases of COVID-19 according to the tally. Right. We know the tally is bullshit, Mr. Handman, don't we? It's bullshit. We know because every single bout of antibody testing they've ever done has been mind-blowing to the powers that be. Like this one, right? So we know the BBC's figures are bollocks. Total fucking bollocks. More than 1 in 5 people who were tested, and this is at random, it was at like outside of fucking Tesco's or something. Just randomly testing people. They did 3,000, I think. 1 in 5 had the fucking antibodies which had shown that they previously had the coronavirus. So again, it's not a conspiracy theory, it's not out there, it's not weird. It's just a fucking fact. So this is bollocks. 2.8 million confirmed cases, 200,000 deaths, right? There's 20 times as many cases, and of these 200,000 people that died with coronavirus, 97% of them had at least one other serious condition. So you take those two fucking numbers, add them together, and you've got a massive fuck you for the strategy that we've been utilising thus far. End of fucking discussion. If you want to be a silly cunt and argue with me in the comments, fucking have at it. You can talk shit, I'll respond by calling you a dickhead, and we'll leave it at that. But there's two indisputable facts. Far more people have had it or got it. Far more than the official numbers suggest. And far, far fewer have died of it than we say. Died of it. They've never died of it. Almost never. Like I said, you're literally probably in three figures when you get someone who's a 20-year-old athletic woman who's just dropped down dead because of the coronavirus. It almost never happens. So it's fucking bollocks. The Swedes have got the right of it. We should have fucking copied their league. The British did initially have... Again, I'll try and find the interview. You have to watch it. The fucking lead epidemiologist in Sweden said they were pleased because the UK said, oh, we're going to do it exactly like the Swedes have. And then too much pressure from the MSM and the general public, and then the British government shit themselves and did a fucking U-turn and started doing this retarded quarantine shit that everybody else is doing. It's fucking ridiculous. I will put the link to this interview, to the interview I'm talking about, in the comments. I suggest you watch it. It's fucking mind-blowing. And yeah, we'll leave it there. Even the headline, it's wrong. That's not the death toll. 95% of them were fucked anyway, before they ever even heard of a coronavirus. I've talked about the virus a bit more than I wanted to because I'm sick of fucking going on about it. But yeah, I'll try and find a bit more gender-bending, politically correct, state-funded communism next week.